I was driving on a back road in northern Oregon, not one of the main highways, just an empty road surrounded by thick forest for miles. I'd been driving for hours with the music low, trying to stay awake. I was on a road trip to clear my head. Nothing too crazy, just driving around and seeing some places. But I wasn't paying great attention to my gas tank. I kept checking it, but I think I pushed it too far this time. The warning light came on and my GPS said the next gas station was 45 minutes away. Not great, but I thought I'd make it. I kept driving and checked my phone again a few minutes later. Still said 45 minutes. I checked again and it still said the same thing. That's when I realized my GPS was frozen. The little car icon wasn't moving, it was stuck. A few minutes later, my car sputtered. My stomach dropped. I hoped it was just because it was running low on fuel, but it sputtered again and again. Then it completely stopped. The engine shut off and wouldn't start again. I coasted to the side of the road. I was in the middle of nowhere, dark forest on both sides of me and fog covering everything. I tried to call for help, but I had no service, 0 bars. I was completely alone on this empty road with no way to contact anyone. I figured if my GPS had been frozen for a while, I was probably only 10 or 15 minutes from the gas station. If I was lucky, I could walk there in maybe half an hour. What choice did I have? I grabbed a small flashlight from my car and locked it up. Then I started walking down the empty road. It was dark and quiet, but not in a peaceful way. It was creepy dark and quiet. The forest on both sides was completely silent and pitch black. When I looked over at the shadows between the trees, my imagination filled in shapes that weren't there, shadows that looked like things. So I tried not to look. I just kept my eyes on the road ahead. My flashlight barely lit up 10 feet in front of me because of all the fog. But after about 5 minutes of walking, I heard something. Branches cracking. Definitely not wind or trees moving. Something or someone was stepping on branches and breaking them. I stopped walking. The forest went totally silent. I pointed my flashlight into the darkness and stared. The longer I looked, the more uneasy I felt. I got this feeling that if I looked too long, something bad would happen. So I looked away and kept walking faster. A few minutes later, I saw something on the side of the road up ahead. It looked like a large shape near the trees. At first, I thought it might be a fallen tree, but as I got closer, my flashlight lit it up. It was a car. An old beat-up sedan. It was sitting way off the road, almost into the forest. But it didn't look like it had crashed there. It looked more like someone had driven it slowly into the trees and just left it. The driver's side door was open a little bit. The car had been sitting there for a long time, weeks or months maybe. It was so far off the road that no one driving by would see it. I would have missed it too if I wasn't walking right there. Seeing that car made me really disturbed. What happened to whoever was driving it? Why was it just left there? I didn't shine my light into the trees or try to look around too much. Something told me that if I looked too long, something bad would happen. Right then, I heard another sound from the woods, rustling in the bushes, then another sound. I turned toward it, and for a second, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But no, I saw something. Not clearly, I couldn't see faces or details, but I saw figures, people moving between the trees. More than one person, a group of people running through the forest. My whole body went cold. I started speed walking down the road. Not running, I didn't want to look like prey and show panic, but I walked fast. I tried to ignore the sound of footsteps that started matching my pace in the forest. Multiple sets of feet crunching through the leaves and bushes, following me along the tree line. I was too scared to shine my light over there or even look. I didn't want to see what was out there. Then, out of nowhere, I heard a truck behind me. A pickup truck came up and stopped right next to me. A man yelled through the window asking if I was stranded. The truck looked dusty and old. The man looked maybe 50 years old with gray in his beard. He looked tired, but not mean or threatening. I was so scared and shaken that I just told him the truth. My car ran out of gas and I was walking to the gas station. The old man almost smiled like I was crazy. "Hop in," he said. "You're way further than you think." During those 30 seconds talking to him, All the sounds and movement in the forest stopped. It went totally silent, like everything paused. I hesitated but got in. Hitchhiking in the middle of nowhere was something I never thought I'd do, but staying out there alone with whatever was happening seemed worse. It was risky either way, but it worked out. The old man was actually just trying to help. He lived on a farm about an hour north and drove this road a lot. He said he'd never seen someone walking around at night like that and knew something had to be wrong. I didn't tell him what I saw or heard in the forest. I didn't want to sound crazy. The drive to the gas station took almost 25 minutes. I would have taken me hours to walk there, if I even made it past that forest. When we got to the station, he gave me a pat on the shoulder and said, "Good luck." That was it, just a guy helping someone out. I went inside and bought a gas can. The clerk told me to call the police now that I had service. He said the sheriff's office around here is nice and would give me a ride back to my car. I'm so glad I did that, because going back alone at night would have been terrible. When the police officer drove me back to my car, I saw something that made my blood run cold. My car had been moved. It was off the shoulder and sitting at the edge of the forest, just like that other car I found. Someone had pushed it there. They didn't want anyone else to see it. That's when I told the police everything I saw and heard. We spent the rest of the night dealing with police reports and searching, but nothing came of it. No suspects, no nearby houses. No one had seen anything. That other car had no plates or any way to identify it. I still don't know what that group of people was doing out there in the forest. I don't know what they would have done if that pickup truck hadn't shown up exactly when it did. But I'm just grateful I'm still here to tell this story.